First try, we on. Okay. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's another Wednesday night.
Yes,
And what
sir.
that means is you're going to be blessed with the Eagles Elite podcast. This is, as always, your boy Cool McCain, and joined here on the side by my wonderful co host.
Of course, got Wyatt from Ways 5 Media and Squad Pod Sports, as always.
Yes, sir. We may be joined by a third person later, but that's later on. Right now, we still have business to attend to. So, as we all know, training camp has started.
Yep. Big
I,
day.
s- I saw a wonderful cutoff hoodie that someone had on. You know what it said, Wyatt?
I did. I believe it said, "No one likes us. We don't care."
Yeah, I saw that and I said, I can feel that. So, in honor of that t shirt, that cutoff, excuse me, hoodie, we're going to go ahead and drop a little something. And it goes like this. But hey, it's all good, all good. There's a plethora of things happening in the Philadelphia Eagles sports world. Plethora. So many things to talk about tonight. So many different ways to start the conversation. So why would you like to start the conversation?
Hold on a second. It's playing the intro on my end. There we go. Sorry, it like started on my end again for some reason.
It got stuck in a loop there, but all good. It's live. Sometimes it happens. But yeah,
Yeah.
so many things to talk about, man. Where you want to start?
Yeah. I mean, just go off with like how you intro, man. I need a link. They need to put that hoodie on sale. I want one of those hoodie, those cutoffs or whatever. I need one because it's so
Yes,
dope.
sir. Yes, sir. And
But
shout out
I
to the
mean,
Go Go Gadgets as well.
yeah, absolutely. Shout out to them. But yeah, like you said, training camp already started. They reported yesterday. The first practice was today. Apparently, the practice itself was only like 58 minutes to only an hour long. It wasn't too long, but they actually went pretty hard today. Apparently, they're going to be having less practices or not going as hard compared to last year going into this year because they're worried about like soft tissue damage, those types of injuries. We're all about that analytics as in the organization. They're trying to analyze that and try to go into the season fully healthy and not have to worry about the next man up at this point going into the season.
Yeah, definitely. I was able to watch Nick Sirianni's press conference
Yeah.
this morning, him and Howie Roseman. One of the things I was able to see from that was like you were saying, they did some conditioning and stuff yesterday. The day was like their first day of actual camp, like you said, and they want to rest tomorrow because they see a lot of times that third day after you go hard the day before is kind of when you start to get by the analytics some soft tissue damage. So they're kind of leaning in that direction. Not the biggest fan of the whole analytics thing and using the analytics for everything, but you know what? If we're going to do it, at least be consistent. That's the one thing I believe. If you're going to do it, be consistent. So I see this as something that may continue for the team. As long as it doesn't affect their play and it's managed properly, I mean, it is what it is. If we feel like we're helping keep people from getting injured by some of the, if it doesn't work.
Yeah. And I mean, last year we went into the season more healthy than we have been the past, who knows how, like 4 years, 5 years. So at least it seems like we're going in the right direction and it's somewhat working a little bit, even though like during the season we get frustrated with like the fourth down conversions, going for it, either in the red zone or midfield or whatever. That's chalked up to the, just organization following the analytics. But like you said, they did have that press conference today. We did get to hear from Howie and Coach Sirianni. One of the quotes I actually want to talk about with Sirianni is something that we've been really talking about here these past couple of weeks, and it was about Jalen Hurts going into his second year. He was saying decisions are being made quicker and faster each time he gets a rep at it. You will still see his playmaking ability with his feet. I saw more accurate passing during OTAs, and now he's got to go out and continue to improve on top of that. So, I mean, that's very encouraging. I mean, Sirianni went out there today with a shirt with Jalen's face on it. You know how he does, but it seems like they're all in on Jalen Hurts being that dude.
But Wyatt, I thought that Jalen Hurts couldn't throw and he was getting sacked in OTAs and he couldn't make good reads. And I mean, what happened?
I don't know. I mean, I think just the media happened.
So basically, as we thought last week, a little bit of hogwash mixed in with some poppycock, and then one guy who wants to stay relevant and a couple of his buddies start putting the story out. And they heard the information. Yeah, they heard it from the guy who started the fake rumor. So I want people to understand real quick, we're media as well, but watch what you believe. If one person's telling you one thing, players in the organization is saying something different, the wise move is listening to players in the organization. Now, if everything matches up across the board, I get it. But you have guys out there that kind of do, we're going to take it where it really is. They'll do anything for clout. Don't give them clout by pushing a false narrative because you don't want a certain person to be the guy. So anything that's said negative about him, you'll run with. That's what happened with this story. This story was not being corroborated, ran around people that want him to succeed or at least want to give him a chance. This was that same portion of the fan base that really, really gets on my nerves. And so the gentleman, I'm not even going to take the time to say his name, but the guy who spread this false story and all the people who were running around with the story, I got one thing to tell you.
And shut your damn mouth.
It's true, though.
It's just that simple, man. Let it go. Let's focus on the seasons here. Let's focus on being the best that we can be. Let's focus on what? Trying to go deep into the playoffs and do something special.
Yeah.
Why hate on your own team? Why?
I never got it. I just don't understand why you wouldn't want your team to succeed. Like, I can understand maybe not liking like a certain player, but at the same time, they're a part of the team you would hope you would, if you support them, you would want them to succeed.
You would think so.
You would think so. But like moving like with the Sirianni's press conference, like I like the answer that he gave about like what they thought like expectations were going to be for the season, and he was saying that like even last season expectations were high because like in Philly with the Philly fan base, they expect a lot out of you no matter what position you're in. If you're rebuilding, if you already have a squad, but even last season with a new QB and a new coach, they had high expectations and they still went out there and got a playoff spot.
Mhm.
And they were like, well, do you expect to win like the NFC East and then go and hopefully win a playoff game? And then maybe if we get on a run and go win a Super Bowl. And he was like, he likened it to like climbing a mountain where it's like, you're not every day when you wake up, you're not thinking about like, I'm going to get to the top today or whatever. It's okay. I'm going to get to this next spot. That's the next thing I'm worrying about is just getting to this next level. And then from there on, just one step at a time. And that's really what it is. Like, you got to focus on training camp and then like preseason games and then eventually Detroit in week 1 and then one game at a time. It's not like they're not automatically thinking, oh yeah, we're shooing for a playoffs, we're going to Super Bowl, something like that. Something outrageous. But it's something to see, and it's nice to see they're trying to stay humble. Kind of, I think it's kind of like walking back like the Miles Sanders comments a little bit. Everyone's trying to humble themselves a little bit.
Yes. We want y'all to see. Yes, the Eagles organization wants you to see. I don't know what this guy's up there talking about, but we are trying to win games. We're not worried about this or that, right? We're trying to win.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like he did something unwise. He opened his mouth a little bit too soon. It happens, but you have to be careful because you don't want to plant the wrong seeds, Miles Sanders. And again, I'm a big Miles Sanders fan, but I'm also a realist. This is a gentleman that hasn't been healthy a full season yet. I hope he is healthy this year. I hope for the remainder of his career, he plays every game he can. But history doesn't show that. And I'm big on what you've done in the past shows me what you're going to do in the future.
Yeah.
So you can always change that narrative with me and people who feel like I do, but you're going to have to do it by what you do on the field. Being healthy, not being a guy that can only run 10 times a game because they're trying to save you so you won't get hurt. Getting out there, making a decision, getting hit less. You're not a running back that should be getting hit a lot because you should be one cut and go.
Yeah, fully agree. Don't make me have to buy another jersey or retire this jersey, man. I want to keep wearing this one. I want to keep wearing this Miles Sanders jersey. But yeah, I agree. He just needs to stay healthy, and I think he can be that running back one here for us. And I mean, it seems like Kenneth Gainwell's turning a lot of heads here in camp just in one day as well. He had a great start to the camp, they're saying.
You know who I do not want to hear about?
Oh,
he'll probably have a great training camp.
He had a good day, apparently. He beat Zach McPherson one-on-one, I guess, and caught a touchdown. But
does that
just
say
training camp?
Good
Can
things
he do it in a game
about him or bad things about Zach McPherson? That's my question.
I think it says more about Zach McPherson.
Exactly.
Oh, because we've seen this before from Reagor in training camp. We saw him last year.
Right.
The Odell catches. He had like 2 of them last year at training camp, and look what happened all season, dropping game-winning touchdowns.
Yeah, man, it's for a lot of these young guys, it's do or die. Show up this season and get out, right? Because if you're not going to do what you need to do, we can go find somebody else that will. But it's show up or get out. And I definitely think that Jalen Reagor's in that boat. We've gotten a lot better at the wide receiver position. He's definitely not our second or third best wide receiver anymore. And he's a first-round pick. So obviously that was a mistake. But we have rectified that mistake. Now we need to figure out what to do with the mistake itself. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get some good games out of him, a good training camp, a good preseason, Maybe we can trick somebody, get maybe like a 3rd-round pick or something. I'll take anything we can get for him. Bates is still out there. Bates, if you ever see this, if you listen to this, if you happen to scroll by, you want to look at the Eagles show, and we're the one that you grace with your presence, there's room for you in Philadelphia.
Oh
There's
yeah.
room for you.
Oh yeah. You'll be real happy.
Real
Yeah,
happy.
and since
We'll even buy your jersey.
we're talking about Jalen Reagor, with in between the last show and now, the news has come out like they are still shopping him apparently on the trade. He's still on the trade block. They're looking for trades involving Reagor, which we kind of knew about all along, it seemed, but now it seems like it's been kind of more official. They're still trying to get rid of him at this point, but it's kind of looking like it may be closer to like cutting time. He just might not make the team if no one's going to trade for him.
Yeah. I mean, you save money by getting rid of them sometimes. You don't want to do that, but sometimes you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
So want to take a few minutes here real quick and just talk about the different promotions within the coaching staff and some of the new hires. A little bit of turnover, not a lot, but a little bit. So go over a little bit of that. So we got Denard Wilson. He's now going to be the defensive passing game coordinator and the defensive backs coach. Jeremiah Washburn, he's now the defensive ends and outside linebackers coach. Alex Tanney is now going to be the assistant quarterbacks coach and the offensive assistant. Eric Dickerson is going to be offensive quality control. Scott Kanicki is a new hire. He's going to be administrative assistant to the head coach. So Denard Wilson actually was hired. He's considered a new hire as well, but he did add the defensive passing game coordinator during the offseason. He really joins as the defensive backs coach through the 2021 season during that season. So kind of a little bit of both on his end. That we previously had, and we're evaluating what they were able to do and saying, okay, let's move some of these guys into other roles to help the team more. To me, that's very important because it's showing that the hires that were made were good hires, even in some other positions, looking to the future and saying, there may be a day when I need this guy to be this. I may even need him to end up being the defensive coordinator one day. I may need him to be the assistant defense coordinator. You never know. So offensive coordinator, different things. It's very smart to say, I'm going to try to hire a staff where I see guys that can move into positions. I wasn't sure about Sirianni with that last year. I questioned it all year. I feel like for reasonable reasons, but I'm seeing now that he did have a plan. One thing I can say about Nick Sirianni from last offseason to this, he is much better on the microphone.
I thought the same thing in this first press conference. It seemed like he's way more comfortable. Yeah. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. No mentions of rock, paper, scissors.
Nothing like that. Getting straight to the point with each question. Yeah, I think he definitely got better with that. He must have took some like media lessons or something over the summer. Possibly.
But I'm just happy that, he does look better.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just, happy that he's now looking better. He sounds more confident, looks more confident. And that's kind of what you want, right? You just want a guy that's going to go out there and give you what he's got. And he definitely seems to be doing that for us now. He seems to be the voice. He seems to be confident in his role. I think, as I said before, losing those titles and just being the guy that says, I focus on this, I think that's going to be very helpful for him. That's going to help make him better than he was.
Yeah, he's not running all over the place trying to game plan or everything like that. But
yes, sir.
Oh, okay, we got someone in here.
So what's going on, Wise El Jefe? Appreciate you. Wise is one of the co-hosts of one of the shows you'll see tickering across the bottom. That's the NFC Beast podcast. And he's also going to be one of the contributors on the NFL Matchup Madness. So appreciate you checking in with us, Wise. If you like to weigh in on our conversation, man, feel free to. We always
thanks for watching
around here, man. That's what we do. But yeah, man, it's really crazy how much I feel like he's improved and comfortable in the role with giving up some of those duties. Sometimes the job can get overwhelming if you're doing too much. You're a young coach,
Yeah.
let everybody do what they were hired to do, and you do your role, oversee, delegate. You veto when you want to, but you let people do what they're there to do. And I think he's understood that, and he's doing that more now, and that's going to help us be better.
Yeah. It gives him time and to just zero in on everything he's supposed to zero in on. Like
Yeah.
with stuff off of his plate, that just gives him more focus to even like game plan, put some stuff together, figure out some new plays, stuff like that, where it just, I don't know, it's going to work out a lot better than what we saw last year, especially with an actual offensive coordinator in there doing something and calling the plays for him, even during the games, gives him time to do whatever else he needs to do. But yeah, I'm very impressed by Sirianni here so far. We'll see what it's like going into the season and how, he's able to kind of throughout, the ups and downs of the season. Hopefully there's not too many downs, but see how he handles those rough situations if we have any.
Now, this is not Eagles related, but I do want to slide this in there.
Okay.
I'm a huge wrestling fan. So in 2024, WrestleMania is going to be in Philadelphia.
I saw.
And I guarantee you, there's another word I can add to that, but I'm just going to say with the guarantee you, that you will see this guy there in Philadelphia. Huh. With Eagles and WrestleMania gear on, Eagles and wrestling gear on. I'll be rotating throughout the day. That was, exciting for me to see as a fan of the team and as a fan of professional wrestling. But just wanted to kind of slide that in there.
Yeah.
I know we spend most of our time talking Eagles, as we should. That's what we're here for. But even some of the players like Lane Johnson were very excited that it's going to be happening.
I was going to say, I saw the video of Lane Johnson with the belt.
Yeah. So hopefully that's something that the city gets behind. Might even get to meet some Eagles players there. Do a little networking, cool. Maybe get some of those guys on the show. You never know.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I wish I would have got some like training camp tickets or something, man. Hit up like one of those. I think they only have like 2 days that people are allowed to go to, or 3 days.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that. Yeah, I wish I we're close enough to be able to do that. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. It's going to be right there, Lincoln Financial Field. And
that would be nice with the open stadium and everything.
So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a very exciting experience, and I am going to be part of that. That's for sure. To the Eagles, we had a couple of guys that we signed. We're not going to really go into names or anything, but we signed a couple of guys. We dropped a couple of guys on the end of the roster. There was a running back. There was a lot of reports that we were going to sign. But you know what?
Yeah, from Dallas, I saw.
Yep. A whole lot of reports. The thing is, it didn't make sense. Truthfully, to begin with, it didn't make sense. We're pretty solidified at running back, I feel like. I know Jordan Howard's a guy that's kind of been on again, off again with us, and he has a different team in New Orleans that's interested in him right now. I can't say that I blame him for not saying, you know what, I'm going to wait for these guys to make a decision, and then I'm going to rock with these guys. No, you got to go get where you can get it. That's how it goes.
Yeah. And he could possibly like back up Kamara. Kamara might be suspended, but I mean, if he's
Kamara's out for the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he could possibly back up Ingram or take that job away, depending on how Ingram's doing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or that's probably a better situation than sitting behind 3 other dudes in Philly. Hopefully, maybe you get a shot.
3 or more dudes,
Yeah, 3 or more dudes.
That big power back, but when I read up on his stats and the fact that he hadn't played a lot, I was like, are we really going to bring this guy in as anything more than maybe a camp body? And I'd rather have the guys that we brought. Like we brought in a tight end, Jaden Graham. I know I said I wasn't going to go over, but might as well. Wide receiver, Lance Lenoir. We brought in another center in Cameron Torm.
Mm-hmm.
We brought in and we released Jared Williams. So, it's good in my opinion because it gives us the opportunity to say, you know what, we were evaluating some guys maybe in the off season, different drills and things like that, OTAs, and we realized some of these guys in the roster, they're not going to make the team. So let's remove them now and bring in guys that at least we feel like have a possibility. Because what's the point in having 3 or 4 guys on your roster that you know you're going to cut? It should be competition. So I'm happy that they did it. If that was the outcome was going to be anyway, you might as well go ahead and do it now.
Yeah. And I also saw that we put 3 players on the PUP list here to start the season.
Yep.
Brett Toth, Richard Rodgers, which was surprising. I didn't even know he was hurt. But then of course, Tyree Jackson, who we've been talking about here, we've been hyping up. He's going to start the season on the PUP list. It was not a good look, man. We expected high hopes out of him.
Well, I expected him to be there because remember he tore his ACL in that last game of the regular season.
Yeah,
so I figured he would start here.
It's going to be tough to come back from.
Yeah, I hope that whenever he does come back, that he's ready to play. But take your time.
Yeah,
be healthy when you do come back. We got enough weapons.
Did have
we'll
the list.
Stay without you for a while.
Yeah, I fully. I mean, we had 3 tight ends on the roster ahead of him. I mean, you got Richard Rodgers also on the PUP list, which isn't good, but you got Dallas Goedert. You got that dude we just drafted as well. I know you said you had some concerns about him, but at least he'll be there. He's another body that'll be there. And of course, you got JJ Arcega-Whiteside as a tight end too, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have the list because there was some guys who didn't practice today and who were very limited. Now the people that didn't practice, we had Jason Kelsey, who apparently was there, but he didn't practice due to what they were calling COVID progression. I don't know what that exactly means. But Carrick Wheatfall was also didn't practice because of COVID progression, and then Zach Pascal didn't practice because of an illness. Fletcher Cox and Anthony Harris were limited in practice for the same reason, though, COVID progression. I couldn't find what the actual meaning of that was because I'm guessing if they had COVID, they wouldn't be there. So I don't know what. Maybe they were just awaiting tests or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm guessing. I was looking at that. Actually, totally concerned. Well, concerned. What does that mean? My guess, obviously, just a guess, an uneducated who had COVID recently. So maybe they're kind of, like you said, waiting to just see if they show symptoms or if they test positive before they, go full tilt. Or maybe they previously had COVID and they're just making sure they're completely over it. So I'm guessing probably one of those 2 things. Like I said, completely uneducated guess, but a guess.
Or maybe they traveled somewhere or they're on a plane or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to really be concerned about. It seems like they're all going to be a full go. It was really cool to see all these videos of Brandon Graham out there practicing, and he was all, just happy and cheery like he always is. No brace or anything on his leg where he had that his surgery on his Achilles and everything. So that is awesome to have him back on the defensive rotation there.
Yeah, the best thing about that whole situation was the fact that he got injured early in the season, so that way he had that entire time to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So really excited about that. He's a guy that we need, so having him back is going to be important. I mean, he's not the same athletically they were 3-4 years ago, but that's at the point of leadership, the understanding of where to be. So another guy that can mentor and tutor these young guys on defense, that's always needed. That's Brandon Graham to the core. Yeah.
And to follow up, like we were saying, even though he is up there, he's going in the twilight of his career. It seems like he always tends to show up in those bigger moments. Exactly when we need him to show up, he's right there.
Yeah. Definitely. A lot of different things we could talk about, man. But honestly, we're on an Eagle Show. What I'd like to talk about is we're hearing a lot about what we're going to do this season, how many games we're going to win, and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask you first. What do you think? And I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be an exact number, but what do you think we're going to do this season? Do you think we're going to be able to do what some people believe and win 10 to 12 games, which is what I think as well? Or do you think
Yeah.
maybe we're jumping ahead of ourselves a little bit here?
I wouldn't say we're jumping ahead of ourselves just because, like, if you look at the roster, I mean, even, and I try not to listen to the mainstream media too much, but like when the team's constantly being noticed and being talked about, you know you have something there. There's something special. And I mean, if you look at the roster, it just seems like Howie and then everybody in the organization went out to build this roster as best as they possibly could going into the season. And on paper, it's pretty stacked. We got, like we've mentioned in the past couple weeks, not only have really good starters, but we have really great depth pieces as well that can fill in if ever, or rotate in if we need them to. I'm going to stick to my prediction I had when we went through the schedule a couple weeks ago. I think we're going to go 12-5. I think that's what it's going to be. I mean, I either way, I think we're going to have over 10 wins. But I expect to at least have over 10 wins and make the playoffs, hopefully win the division. And I'm banking on a playoff win at least, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to take it any further than a playoff win. But hey, if we make it, if we go on a run, that'd be cool too. But especially with us overachieving last year and making the playoffs and having the chance to be in there and go against the Bucks with this updated roster we have, not only on offense and defense as well, you can easily, win the division, go into the playoffs, and get a home victory. Hopefully, it's a home victory.
Right. So yeah, I mean, for me, I look at the schedule. I can easily see anywhere from 10 to 12 wins. I feel like every year we lose a game or two that we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Why is this kind of still my next point, but it's all good. Nothing wrong with a little interactive. Adding AJ Brown was, but I would say it was gargantuan, right? I think it was a major move for the team to be able to have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. That's huge. That's like, I mean, I can't even explain how huge that is just for the psyche of the room. I did see some interviews, some snippets of different interviews yesterday with some of the players, and one of them they asked AJ Brown about Zach Pascal coming into the room, and AJ Brown. Adding these two guys are major because it gives veteran leadership. It gives guys that can tutor us to a certain level. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a rare appearance by the third member of the team.
Mojo Jojo.
Or maybe by this time we should start calling the part-time member of the team Mo, or Mojo as he likes to be called.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well,
okay, I'm having some technical difficulties. I've been trying this for quite some time. I wanted to improve the quality of my appearance and such, so I've been working on that feverishly. But yeah, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm sorry I'm late, but I am here. What were you just talking about there, Cool?
Oh, well, I'm actually going to be agreeing with Wise' comment here that he doesn't look forward to the Giants facing the Eagles. I'll tell you this, Wise. Y'all are one of the teams that I don't know what it is, but no matter how good we are, we can't seem to play away from y'all.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is,
makes sense.
If y'all are really good and we're really bad, it's still a close game. If we're really good and y'all really bad, it's still a close game. If we're both okay, it always seems to be close games with that team, the Giants.
Well, let's start. Wait, I do disagree a bit.
What a shot!
Only because they're never
Lady
really
disagree.
good. We're really bad. We're never really bad. I don't remember the last time we were really bad.
I remember 2 years ago when we had
2 years ago, yeah,
4
we
wins.
went 4-12.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, that was really bad.
I think we were rebuilding after they trashed the whole Super Bowl team. Okay.
They still were bad. You said you don't remember. That's 2 years ago. Facts of that. We were bad.
I remember 3 years ago and 4 years ago, and I remember 1 year ago. I don't remember 2 years ago.
What we do, all you have to do is look up the stats. And then if you go back 5 years ago, 6 years ago, those teams were not really good either. We've had some teams that were not really good. All the years of the thumb Chip Kelly were there were not good years just because of his way of destroying the talent. But if you really watch the games between the Giants and the Eagles seem to really have a problem, like on most occasions, breaking away. And even you watch some games, we may outscore them by a touchdown or two, and you still look at the game and it feels closer than a score.
Yeah, we talked about it when we did the recap of the season. There was multiple games that were like that,
and we lost the game to the Giants last year. So it's one of those things that just kind of proves that point. We have certain teams, and it's the division, and it should be the division. That's another thing. Another allude to the NFC beast, the division. It's hard to go through this division undefeated. It's something that Dallas was able to accomplish last year, but that was paper. They would have really beat us the second time, I feel like, if our starters would have played. So, to me, that's a paper undefeated, and I don't acknowledge or respect it. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving you that. No. Especially to the Arlington football team. Nah, you're not getting that. But I think I acknowledge and respect the fact that the Giants came out when a lot of people believed we were going to crush in that game and beat us that first game. And, we said before, hey, there's a lot of things that we did to lose that as well. But guess what? There's a lot of things the Giants did to win that. They played good defense. They made us play the way that they wanted us to play, and they were able to outplay us. And it happens,
Yeah.
But hopefully, as I have been predicting, there is one team in the division that we will sweep, and that is the Arlington football team. I don't believe that it's going to work.
Hell yeah. Amen, man. Like I don't know what else to add to that, man. That was great. But I forget what my exact game prediction was, but I would love if we swept the Arlington football team. But I totally agree with you, though. It seems like we always seem to play pretty equal with the Giants there when we play them.
Yeah.
Even the same with like the team over there in Washington as well, it seems.
I'm intrigued by that team, since we're talking the rest of the division, because I want to see how Carson Nakami plays for them. I want to see if he, at least when he's playing against the Eagles, if he tries to be the best version that he can be of himself.
Got some common ground on that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All fans of other NFC, I'm just going to start saying NFC beast teams, do agree that the team in Arlington is bad.
I don't even know if you even have to say NFC East or NFC Beast team. You can just say NFL teams in general just do not like the Arlington football team.
CFL teams, XFL
Nobody
teams,
likes them.
IFL teams, whoever, right? But yeah, man, it's the Eagles are really at a point where it's kind of that. I use this phrase a lot. I haven't used it on the show much, but I use this phrase a lot. There's kind of like a line in the sand. And you got to make a decision. And before we go further, this right here, sir. You speak of me language. You speak of me language when you say that. You speak of me language. You definitely do.
Straight buns.
Straight garbage. Hot. Putrid garbage is my take. And soft. And that's with the SAWFT. Soft. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, man, just trashed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not gonna work out well for him.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see if maybe like when he plays us, if he tries to pull out the old Wentz,
like the scrambles and stuff.
that's still fresh, but see if he tries to pull them out.
We gonna end up hurting him. It's going like the shoe gonna be on the other foot.
Yeah.
We gonna end up hurting him now.
Oh yeah, which is
What would be
amazing.
funny though is if we play, he goes out there and returning to us. Is
No, thanks for having me back in the room, guys. I actually do believe there is an opportunity here. It's a stretch. It's really a stretch because it is the NFC Beast, which I love the name, by the way. But I believe there is a slight possibility that we sweep the NFC Beast, which would be interesting. Now, I know you said, and I agree with you. I really do because it's just like you say, the Giants. A lot of times, the Giants, when we play them, it's like a field goal. Somebody wins by a field goal, one way or another. We could be way better than them, and they're trash. I get it, because it's happened so many times. But I see a sweep. It's possible. Did you guys already go over the coaching additions and changes that went on?
Yeah, we talked about training camp and stuff.
Man, well, let me throw mine out there. I kind of welcome the new additions or the movement within the organization, just because you've got so many new players that your coaching strategy. While we did make the playoffs and everything like that, I like to hear fresh ideas. Let's see where we can go from here. Let's open up this defense. And you have so much talent on that side of the ball that's where they should start. I think a lot of moves were made on the defensive side of the ball, coaching wise, that really gets me excited about what the defense actually can be, because it feels like there's more hands on deck, so to speak. While one mate doesn't have to swab the whole deck, we've got 10 guys out here swabbing the deck, and shuffling around to see exactly what we can be. To see, and when you look at some of the stats from last year, while the games that we talked about, us as fans, we may look at it and say, we give up too many points early, or we're letting them run on us. But when you look at it whole game wise, a lot of those games, we might have done that in the first quarter, or we did it in the third quarter. It was never a whole game that I watched that we just completely weren't there. They end up showing up either late in the game, or they show up early and then they're tired late. So I'm just really interested to see how, these coaching changes and with all the new faces, what they can build, and what we can actually be by the end of this season, where, you're going into the playoffs with a winning the NFC Beast and looking forward to taking advantage of that advantage that you hold on that side of the ball when you're going into the playoffs. Man, if we were fifth in this and eighth in that last year, what is it going to be this year?
Yeah, I can't, like, the only time I could think about that last time that this team didn't lay down and die just on offense and defense was probably against the Saints a couple years ago. That game where Malcolm Jenkins flipped off Sean Payton and everything. That's the last game I can remember being man, this team sucks. We are garbage.
That was a bad game. Yeah. That was a bad game, bro. That was bad. But
Carson was terrible in that game.
Well, we can say that a lot of times. When you
but that's the last game I could think about where it was just bad all around, the whole team.
Yeah.
But it was cool seeing AJ Brown videos today. It's we knew about it for so long now. We saw pictures of him in Philly, but now it's reality. He's in a jersey. He's out there catching passes from Hurts at practice. I love it, man. It's so cool to see him as an addition here. And I think, man, Smitty, I think he's going to have a huge season. I know AJ Brown's going to be huge, but I think Smitty's going to have one hell of a season here in Philly.
Yeah, and like I said a couple of weeks ago, do not sleep on my man Quez. I think they're gonna really plug him in more than people might be expecting, and he's really gonna be somebody that really gets to eat by having these guys out there. I mean, him and Goddard should really have an opportunity to have some really breakout seasons. Like, yeah, I'm that guy. You know, I can do it too. When you got two guys on the edge like that, it's kind of hard to pay attention to everybody, and that's for any defense in the league. I don't care if you're the number one defense, which I'm hoping we come out in the top 3. So if we're a top 3 defense and a pretty prolific offense, there's no reason that we go deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
No, but I mean, I know you guys probably already covered it, but today, yeah, there was some standouts. I saw some posts where, you know, they talked about Rieger. I mean, oh boy, I don't know why that name.
He had a touchdown. We did talk about that.
Well, who cares? Okay. And the same thing for the haters that are all over social media talking about my man hurts and he's not that great and he doesn't look like he made that much progression. Hey, guess what? Training camp just started. Yeah. You know, let's give training camp guy a chance. I'm so tired of it. Like, so the guys that have been hating on him the entire all season did not take a day off today. They were on,
and they won't.
You know. Yeah, and they won't. And I suspect that they won't until he begins to prove them wrong. Then you'll see them slowly dissipate.
Maybe.
And by the time we're in week 12 or 13, they'll be a long forgotten thing, and they'll be rooting for the team they're really a fan of, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get them out of here.
Yeah, get them out of here.
But yeah, you mentioned like Quez. Quez apparently had a good day today. He was practicing at the third slot there with the receivers. So it seems like he's going to be, I mean, we expected him to be, you know, the third wide receiver there. And he started with them today. Apparently he had a couple of great catches. Hurts looked apparently really good today. I saw a couple of videos. He was putting the ball on the money. But yeah, I'm excited here to see some more videos and just rumors and, you know, everything going through training camp. So no, I expect Howie to make at least maybe one trade or one move here before the start of the season. It seems like he usually makes one.
Yeah. I did see one thing today that was a little interesting. What was that? It was it was Quez. It was Quez. They were talking about how he had 3 touchdowns called back last year off the penalties. So you think about discipline and, you know, with that offensive line and with everything they're doing. I want to see that too. Just that discipline, much less penalties. Because you figure his season, I mean, if he has 3 more touchdowns, he's, you know, obviously put on a different level than I think people like us that are, you know, we're actual hardcore fans. You know,
he'd be on people's radar.
Yeah. And well, I don't know if it's good or bad, but, you know, I mean, it could go either way because it may be good, because if he's really as good as that, where, you know, you add a few touchdowns and a lot of yards to what he did last year, the guy's a problem, you know?
Yeah.
He got great hands.
I'm glad you mentioned discipline, because that's something we really need going into the start of the season. Because last season, through like those first 5-6 games, we were seeing terrible, like so many penalties being
we got to remember
offsides and stuff like that. Like, we need to make sure that gets in check before the season starts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a big part of that though is you got to think Quez Watkins is not going to get the amount of targets that he got last year. You're going to be spreading the ball around more. Someone on the other side, what I saw Devontae Smith is staying at the position he was last year. A.J. Brown is basically where Reagor would be. Doesn't really matter to me because I feel like, we really have two number one receivers. But they're going to have to eat at times. It's going to be hard to take both of them out of the game. So they're going to eat at times. God is going to need to eat at times. You're going to throw the ball. Hurts is going to run at times. So I think it's not necessarily the amount of yards. It's not necessarily the touchdowns. It's when your number is called making a play. That's what's going to be important for everyone that puts on a Philadelphia Eagles jersey that catches balls out of the backfield, wide receiver, or tight end. When your number is called, make the play. If you can't make the play, but your number is called, you need to get up out of there and let's find somebody who can. That's the difference between us winning games last year and being better. That's the difference between Hurts getting in a game against a team like Tampa Bay and maybe hesitate a little bit because he's looking and he's seeing Reagor's the one open. This dude ain't catch the ball. That's why he's open. Right? No, for real.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not making an excuse for Jalen Hurts, but I'm saying if I play flag football, flag football quarterback. If I look and I see like say Mo and Mo don't never catch the ball, and I see he's the one open, I'm gonna hesitate before I make that throw. Example, sir. Example.
You see these hands?
Example, sir. Example, sir. Example. But I'm saying I'm not going to throw in the ball if he's never going to catch the ball. If I have, if I feel like he's only going to catch 1 out of 3 balls, I'm probably not going to throw in the ball. So I may hesitate because I'm waiting for someone else to get open because the guy's open is the guy that everybody wants us to throw the ball to because then more likely he's going to end up in the dirt or intercepted when it drops off his hands. So I think that will help as well, him being able to say, you know what, I don't have to worry about numbers. I don't have to worry about who's who. I drop back, whoever's open, I get a ball up, and I won't worry about it. Because now you're going to have a better quality of guys, whether it's Pascal, whether it's Watkins, whether it's both of them switching out, whatever it is. You're going to have better players at wide receiver. You're going to have a second-year Quez Watkins because he really was hurt his first year. You're going to have, a second-year Devontae Smith. You're going to have
A.J. Brown in place of Reagor,
A.J.
which
Brown.
is a huge upgrade.
I don't think anybody in the world would disagree with you on that. I don't think Jalen Reagor's mama would disagree with you on that. But yeah. So the fact is we're going to be better next year. This season here, I'm saying next year, but this season we're going to be better this season. But the biggest part of it is we got to win on October 30th, guys. When we play the Pittsburgh Steelers, we got to win.
Yeah.
We have to win. That
stadium going to be electric.
The Battle of Pennsylvania.
Yes, it is. And gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and say this. We're going to have some gentlemen that cover the Steelers hop on with us.
Okay.
In the Steelers Eagles game. So we're going to.
I hope.
Cool.
Well, by that time in the season, they should already be getting used to this.
We're going to have guests other weeks too. That's going to be big because, like Mo said, the battle. We need to try to go 17-0. But yeah, we have guests lined up for that week. We're going to have guests lined up for some other weeks as well. The Arlington football team weeks. We're going to have guests lined up for at least, for both of those actually.
Okay.
So there's going to be a lot of things shaking and moving with the Eagles Elite podcast. Be ready. Everyone that's watching, everyone that's not watching yet.
They're usually a little weird. Do we really have to have Arlington football team fans around?
Be ready.
Weirdos.
Ready.
The worst thing, if being from Philly,
so you got to remember, there's weird Eagles fans too.
Being in the trenches. There's one thing I really detest, and that's an Arlington fan that
Eagles fans
lives in Philly. It's the worst thing you could imagine. An Arlington fan that lives in Philly and has never been there.
A lot of people in Charlotte. I think a lot of people in Charlotte can't stand Philadelphia Eagles fans that live in Charlotte. And that's by the way they look at me when I drive by with my Eagles out car.
They'll get over it when they're 3 and 14. Maybe they'll get over it when they're 3 and 14 and start wearing some green.
So I don't know about you, but I think losing is going to make it worse, not better. Just saying. They're going to pull out their gear. They're going to have it on. They're going to have it on. Yeah, they're just gonna be crying and whining about how they hate everybody.
Yeah.
On the team and the owner and the coach and everybody, but that's what have it on. Just to wrap up things, I'm sure you have some comments you want to make too. I did want to address what you guys were kind of touching on a few minutes ago. Discipline. Discipline is going to be the focal point of our success. Jalen Hurts is number one. Discipline is 1B. Because even if he plays similar to last year, right? And obviously we've heard everything is going to be better, but let's just say he's marginally better. Let's just say he makes a couple of the throws he didn't make before. He's not completely buns like Walker to him Wentz. But, and I'm sorry to hurt you, Wentz sexuals. I really don't care. But just saying, just because I want to call out the Wentz sexuals.
Yeah, do the bum.
But we have to be better at just not making mistakes. We have to be the ones that play well.
Yeah.
We have to be the ones that say, all right, this is what we're trying to do. This is how we need to get there. Minimize the mistakes. There's no such thing as no mistakes, but minimize the mistakes. So that's definitely something that we need to be doing. That's something that we need to be working on. I love Brandon Graham being back. That's another voice to get in some of these guys and make these mistakes consistently ear and say, bro, what are you doing? Focus. Let's play. Yeah. Let's get things together. We're trying to win. We're trying to do something this year. You think about how many games we lost because of silly plays last year. Let's get away from that. Let's use our God-given common sense and go out here and play football. When the hit's almost not there, even if maybe you let the guy get the throw off, but it's so close that the bang could be called the other way, pull up. Right? Sometimes you scare the guy and jump by him. You have to try to take him to the ground every time, especially not guys like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Nope, unless it's Tom Brady. Hit him every time.
You know what? You know what? We ain't got time for that. That's the kind of foolishness I'm talking about. That's the kind of foolishness I'm talking about. Why would you hit Tom Brady? You know if you touch Tom Brady, there's going to be a penalty. That's ridiculousness. That's asinine. Why would you want our team to get penalties in crucial situations just so you can feel good about him getting hit? That's asinine.
Strip sack. That's all I'm going to say.
You don't have to knock him to the ground to strip sack him. You go by him and you just swing at the ball. Don't hit Tom Brady. That's a 15-yard penalty every time.
Derek Barnett talking to you.
Believe me. If
Derek Barnett don't act like Mo.
While I'm doing that, I probably would. Okay.
And then you need to be on the end of the bench. I don't like him either, but I don't want to lose for making bad decisions.
Yeah, that's
talking about winning the game.
And I don't even know why I don't like him so much because we did beat him, so we did the job.
You don't like him because he's a cheater.
I'm still upset about 2000
and he stole a Super Bowl from us. That's why you don't like him.
Yeah,
because he's a cheater.
He did. He cheated. However, my guy, and I'm not going to disrespect my guy, but he did throw up like the whole first half. He did a real life Willie Demon.
Who cares?
I do.
He was still getting the ball. He was still getting the ball in.
We lost by 3 points. He did nothing.
He was still throwing the ball.
Terrell Owens came out there completely off a broken something and still balled out. And
then the rest of the receivers
didn't show up. Like nobody wants to talk about the fact that McNabb just didn't show up in the entire first half, and we only lost by 3.
The other receivers that McNabb was throwing to, name them. Name other receivers. Name other receivers.
He wasn't okay. I'll name them. No one. He wasn't throwing. He was throwing up. He was throwing to up.
He was throwing the ball, and it was not being caught.
Throwing up.
He was throwing the ball.
Go back and look
it was
at
not
the
being
game,
caught.
Go back
and look. FredEx did not deliver.
Bro, we lost by 3 points, and he choked. He flat out choked.
You know, man, it's truthfully sad that you feel that way.
Yeah, we should have 2 rings right now.
Because you're diminishing the fact that the New England Patriots, or as I like to officially refer to them, the New England Patriots, knew our plays. They knew our plays. So if you know the other team's plays and you can still only win by 3, what would happen if you didn't know the plays? But you want to forgive that part so that you can down Donovan McNabb.
In the NFL,
so that's fine if that's what you want to do.
It's okay to cheat.
Stay woke. Stay woke, Mr. Summers. Stay woke. You're not woke right now. Stay woke. They're getting you to change the narrative. The narrative is they cheated. It was admitted that they cheated. Nothing happened, and that's how they won.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So there was another factor. The fact that they cheated and we still only lost by 3.
Yes.
And Mr. McNabb did absolutely nothing.
So
I'll agree to disagree.
It woke.
Even the main issue cheating, we still should have won the game.
Yeah, that's not true. Watching. But they barely won with cheating, with being able to call out.
You're saying the same thing I said.
With being able to call out the reason, all from cheating, they still only could beat us by 3 points.
Right. So if woke, Mr. McNabb
do not let
played
them get to you. Stay woke. My inaccurate opinions of Donovan McNabb is wrong. What I'm focusing on is the fact that
that's my boy. He won us a lot of games.
Do you think that maybe knowing someone's route tree, knowing all the audibles that they call and everything might affect how someone plays as well? Or are we not going to talk about that? We're just going to gloss over how deep the cheating went. Are we just going to gloss over that?
It wouldn't affect my stomach.
Okay. You can't. There's nothing you can do with some people. It's nothing you can do. Any other comments, gentlemen?
I mean, I just wanted to.
It's like the Hurts fans. No, you don't.
I just wanted to add off what you were saying earlier about the discipline thing. It does make the difference. It makes the difference between being just like a regular, just mediocre, all right team and being elite. That's what makes you be like the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Packers, all these other top teams in the NFL. Like you're saying, there's no perfect game, but they're able to they're disciplined. They're not doing these dumb penalties. And they're moving the ball successfully, getting points. They're taking the points on whatever drive that they have. Just play smart football. That's what makes the difference here. And I think with the upgrades we have, I think we have all the talent in the world to go out there and be successful. It's just a matter of can we utilize it to its potential.
Hashtag Philadelphia Eagles, be elite.
Be elite. Be elite. Hashtag be elite.
It's interesting because I wonder, I'll do it. I wonder if with all these weapons, does that make you go for 4th down more often?
Lord, please not. Hopefully we're not.
Analytics tells them to.
Hopefully we're not in as many 4th downs.
Heck, hope not. I think we're all in agreement on that. And I hope that he gets the message from real fans. Like, stop it.
Stop the madness.
Slow it down.
You are not the macho man.
Go for it every single time.
Yeah.
You're not the macho man. Stop the madness. That's all I can say to him.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the season, man. I'm glad training camp's finally here. We get something.
Yeah, I feel like we're like that much closer to actually real football. Real.
Yeah. We got 3 interesting preseason games against. They're all really winnable. We're obviously not going to play our starters in all of them, and we're not probably worried about winning all of them. But we've got 3, preseason games. Thank goodness we don't have 4 anymore, because that 4th one was a snooze fest and difficult to watch because a bunch of guys are not going to make the team playing. Like one of the people that play in that whole entire game from both teams is going to make the team. So thankfully, we're not subjected to that anymore. I definitely would much rather have that as a regular season game. For me, I'm just excited that the season has started, at least the preseason. 4 of our first 5 games are against teams that did not make the playoffs last year, so we should be able to get out to a nice, strong start to the season. And it's just maintaining. We're going to lose some games. Let's be serious. All homerism aside, we're not going to go 17-0. We're going to lose some games, but the goal is to.
Yeah.
something to build on going into the regular season.
And also,
but
yeah.
So is there anybody that you wouldn't like to see on the field in preseason?
No, I want everyone to get some reps in the preseason. I want the starting offense as a unit, wide receivers or whoever you perceive to be the starters, because I think there's still some questions on who's going to be the third receiver. But I want the starting offense all on the field together at the same time. When one comes off, everybody comes off. We're initiating a new player that's going to play a big role into that. He needs to learn how to catch the ball from Jalen Hurts. He needs to learn the routes that he needs to run, the way to catch the ball in game speed, how to break away routes, how to play off of the other people that are there. So you need game reps for that. So I want everyone to see the field in the preseason.
I feel you. There's a couple of players that I would want to limit their time. In the preseason.
It's fine. Just put them on, take them all out together.
Yeah, make sure they get some reps, of course. But as far as everybody coming off together, maybe not necessarily like Mr. Sanders. I don't want to see him out there too much. First quarter at the most.
But that could be said for the whole offense.
Even in the third preseason game, even in the last preseason game, I just don't. I mean, I understand, especially as a running back, they need reps in order to get your rhythm. But I'd rather him get into his rhythm game 2 of the season or something. The other guy I don't want to see out there at all. I'm not even going to say his name. I want him. Don't make the cut.
I want to see him out there because I want him to show everybody who he really is. So you got to be out there to show everybody who you really are.
That's me. That's me. And then his trade value drops tremendously.
Everybody already knows who that dude is.
Yeah,
they do. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
That's why he's still on the team now.
Right. Like we can't even get rid of this guy. Oh my God.
This guy.
Who's born with no hands? Like, come on, man. Anyway.
It's not that he's born with no hands. It's that at some point in his career, somebody slapped a Hands of Stone card on him, and it just seeped into his skin.
Yeah, it's just cemented into his mind. Anytime that he thinks about catching a ball.
Yeah, there's something. There must be a trigger. Maybe maybe one of these new coaches have discovered the trigger. What triggers him to and it's not even alligator arm. Like your hands are on it. What are you doing? Oh my God. Yeah, I saw a couple of passes and looking at the film today, a couple of that were put where they're gonna have to be put in a game situation where it might to us in practice look high or look ahead of the receiver. But I think if he's gonna have to, obviously Hurts is gonna have to throw some people open sometimes. So it's good to see.
Yeah. I mean, some receivers you have to do that. I mean, that was a big thing with Alshon being on the squad when he was here.
Yeah.
They were always putting it like
funny about AJ Brown said, "Hey, throw me open. Throw the ball wherever you need to. I'll go get it."
Yeah.
I'm with it. I think we got a good team. I think training camp is going to show us a lot about the end of the roster, and that's where it's going to be important. Which guys should we keep? Which guys should we cut? Because at the end of the day, we're going to have injuries. That's part of football. The guys that we have as the backups, the guys that we have as the third string, those are the guys that are going to be important. We know for the most part who the starters are going to be. A couple of positions could flip-flop, but those backups, being able to step in, being able to play with the number ones, and being able to do what you need to do, that's going to be important for the team this year. It's a long season. I want to see us really dominate this year when we have the opportunity to.
Yeah. Even with that depth like you're talking about, even if it's just to close out games, where we're up healthily. And
I just want to say this thing with you and like closing out games, right? Like, do you have like this infatuation with like putting in backups to close out games? Because it's like you talk about this like every week that you're here.
Yeah, because I expect to be up by some points every week, because I don't want to see my starters play the entire game every week. I don't want it to be, we win by a field goal, we win by 2 points. Yeah, there should be 3 or 4 blowouts this year at the very least, where these guys get some rest so that they are healthy down the stretch. Because health, you got discipline, but then you also have health. Because if you got 2 receivers down, 3 linemen down, 4 D-backs out, then the team starts to fall apart. They're obviously not on the level of the starters, or they would be starters. I want them to get enough reps during the season so that when you get into the playoffs, and if somebody is hurt, because it's part of the game. It's a very physical game. It's part of the game. So you have to anticipate injuries, and you have to be prepared for them. The only way to prepare for real game time action is to get real game time playing time. So I do want to see them close out some games. I want to see my starters on the sideline, chopping it up and laughing and high five, and I want to see it. Yes, sir.
I just want to say that's the best point that you've made on the show, sir. Good job.
Hey, I'll take it. I hope y'all take it too.
The last thing I wanted to mention here we didn't get to was I thought it was pretty cool and pretty interesting during the press conference today. Howie Roseman went out of his way to acknowledge Marcus Epps and his work ethic that he has. And it seems like he's been really impressing the coaches and the organization with, being one of the first guys in there in the building. But it seems like he's really trying to take his game to the next level and work on some of the faults that he's had these past couple of years. But it seems like we talked about it before. It seems like he keeps getting better and better each year. And it seems like the organization actually took notice, and it seems like he may be around for quite some time here.
And some media was so impressed.
And I was going to say also, I was going to say Howie Roseman was really putting the slob job on Hassan Reddick. That was a slob job. I was like, whoa, you really love that dude. Because he was saying because he went so far as to say when he came out, we wanted to draft him in the second round, but we didn't have a second round pick. We tried to get a second round pick to draft him. We couldn't get one. We've been following him every year since then. We're so happy to break him to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sitting there thinking
wow, he probably sitting at home like, get it. What a life. It was heavy though. It was definitely
it was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was how he was smiling and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's like,
I was gonna get him no matter what.
He was the one that got away.
Hassan Reddick. I knew that I was gonna get him.
Yeah, it's like when he came outside, I was out there like Forrest Gump, like,
With that being said,
is he good or is he good?
With that being said,
he comes out and he doesn't do a thing. That would be terrible. Like, come on.
We're not even gonna put that in the universe, sir. Stop that mess. With that being said, I just want to shout out where you can find me. Go to Wyatt and we'll hit up Mojo. So you can find me, of course, here, Eagles Elite Podcast, Wednesday nights. You can also find me Friday nights, playcollegesportstalk.com. When the season starts, you can find me Tuesday night, 9 p.m. on the playcollegesportstalk.com. But we will be presenting the NFL Matchup Madness. And also for football season, me, Stuck in My Mind podcast, who was on earlier with us. Appreciate that. Shout out to those watching now. On Saturday nights, 9:30, the NFC Beast is coming. Be ready. Stay tuned. It's getting real.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, just on Mojo. Mr. Mojo 100 on Twitter, and Versatile One on Instagram. VERSATILLE and the number 1 on Instagram. I'm getting it all together, and of course, you can find me here. And there's a couple of things coming down the pipeline. I'll be working with Cool a little more, trying to grow my platform and see what we can do to really make this happen. I really appreciate that guy. And Mr. Wyatt over here. Where you at, Wyatt?
Yeah, I mean, as everybody can see, they can find me at Waves 5 Media and at Squad Pod Sports on Twitter. You can go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Waves 5 Media and Cinema Trip Reviews. And I've been trying to get a little bit active more on Instagram, so you can go follow me on there at W_Burgard, BURGARD.
I have seen you on there recently.
Yeah, I've been trying, man. It's one of the ones I haven't been using at near as much as Twitter and Facebook and stuff. I need to start posting stuff on there here soon. So
let's just create our own platform. How about that? We're gonna start a whole new social media thing.
Just for the Eagles.
just for the Eagles.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you watching. All those that watch the replay for us, like, subscribe, and please share with your friends and fellow Eagles fans. Hopefully we can grow this base, we can get it popping. And remember, no one likes us and we don't care.
We don't care.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Nope. Fly, Eagles, fly.
And always hashtag be elite.
Be elite.